All righty, so I'm gonna start off by recording. Everybody, you have to say, "Hey, I got it." You understand that I'm recording this, so don't shout out your social security numbers and all that other kind of good stuff. All right, so we got good amount of people, so we're gonna get rolling. Right, I'm gonna start off with our OHT of today's meeting. The OHT, objection handling technique, that I'm going to talk about today is called the reduction to the ridiculous. Okay, it's a technique that you use as a salesperson when somebody's trying to not buy. You bring them in and tell them, "Come on, you need to stop playing around and doing this." But what you have to do is tip the bucket first. Now that's a technique. It's a different type of a close, but tipping the bucket is the verbiage will go something like this. Well, hey, Joe, are you once you have a concern about that dollar, say it's $300 more a month here. So, hey, look, if you have a problem about that, are there any other problem that you have? Are there any other problems? And he'll say, "Oh no, that's the main thing." So now that's tipping in the bucket, making sure there's not another objection after you handle this one. All right, so we're gonna handle now. We've already tipped the bucket, no more objections. He's okay with everything else. It's just that $300 a month more for his mortgage than he really anticipated or was really ready to spend. So the reduction of ridiculous goes something like this. "Hey, George, look, man, you and your family have been looking for a house like this for a long time, and it looks like we found it. So we're glad to be able to help you get in this house." And yeah, absolutely, it is $300 a month more than what you wanted to pay. However, look, let's look at this realistically, George. $300, that's $10 a day, man. That's $10 a day. And you know what? That's about the cost of a good latte. So George, look, man, do you really want your family to not have the backyard that you wanted? And then you start pointing out all the good things that he really likes. To not have the finished basement, to not have it because you didn't want to give up your daily latte. Yeah. So it's called the reduction to ridiculous. You're bringing that $300 a month that he's angst over, excuse me, and you're showing him that it's just a little bit of money in the grand scheme of things, and have him look at the big picture. The big picture is Johnny playing in the backyard, because that $300 a month, Johnny's going to become a football star. Who knows? You may even be able to get a scholarship out of the situation. That'll save you a lot of money. There's a lot of ways you can make with it. The whole thing is to take that dollar amount and reduce it down to something ridiculously minute, so that the buyer doesn't get all worked up about the fact that they're over their budget to some extent. So that's called the reduction to ridiculous. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to lead off the meetings with an OHT each month. So you got to get here on time so that you can learn how to sell these houses and get that money. All right, couple of things, some housekeeping items. Please read the new contracts. You are in the real estate business. You write contracts. You list houses. Please read the forms. I say this all of the time. We can put our heads together and make a decent living at this without having to go to med school, without having to go into law school, and without having to do all of that stuff, accounting school and things like that. But you have to read the forms, know what they say, and fill in the blanks properly. So read your forms every October. There are some changes. Sometimes Maryland Realtors will have them posted on their YouTube channel. You can look through there, but you should read your forms. You should know your forms, and make sure that you do that. All right. General information, buyer broker agreements. Pretty much anything that a client signs needs to be emailed to me within 48 hours, within 2 business days. Anything and everything needs to be sent to me. Listing agreements, ratified contracts, case sheets, everything, all of that. Buyer broker agreements, everything there. I need to have that in my files all the time, please. Okay, everybody, please send me your stuff. Okay, as soon as you get it signed off on them, as soon as the buyer, the seller signs it, you have 2 working days to get it to me, scan it in and email it to me. Don't bring it into the office or anything else like that. Just going to cover the semi-annual, we just had a payment for semi-annual E&O on last month. Your E&O is every July and every January. It's $250. It's $500 a year split up to be semi-annually, because we don't want to hit everybody all at once with that big money, that little bit of money anyway. So just so you know that, okay, there's a new online virtual school that we have. I just signed up to take my DC broker courses with it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that. Come on now. Okay. Yeah, bye-bye. Okay, there we go. All right, everybody can see my screen, 35% off. So these courses are great. So I have to take 15 CE credits for my DC broker's license. I went on there and all 15 of those came to $140. And again, you know, when they're virtual like this, you're reading and stuff like you're doing at your own time. You can start when you want to start, stop when you want to stop, go right back to where you were. And now they have a promotion going on with when you get ready to check out, it'll ask you if you have a promotion code. If you put in SOAR capital letters, it'll knock off 35% off of your stuff there. So whatever you get in your cart. And again, this is dmvrealestatecareer.com. If you go to dmvrealestatecareer.com, so you can see they have classes all over. If you're in other states, you're licensed in other states, you can take it there too. If you're thinking about getting licensed in other states, you can take it there as well. So it's just a good spot for you to do that. It is it's not free, but it's available. And actually, you know, if you know somebody that's even doing pre-licensing, they can do pre-licensing, they can do exam preparation, post-licensing, continuing education, even upgrade their license, even taking courses, CE courses for other states. You want to expand your footprint there. Okay, so definitely look at that. All right. Now there's also some free learning for you all. You can go to sellstate.com/source. Okay, sellstate.com/source. You're going to go to the online training center, and then you'll log in, give them your login information. And again, this stuff is free, and you'll end up here. So I'll show you where my courses are. So it's a ton of courses in here. So it could be new agent, SOI, you're seeing social media, digital marketing, time management, disc profile, which is an awesome one. It shows you how to kind of predict how people are going to act and react based on their personal profile. It's got some stuff for brokers and things like that, success mindset, negotiation, and agent financials. All of this is available to you absolutely free for now. Okay, there's going to come a time where, you know, my company will say, well, Chuck, enough of this free stuff. So just letting you know. Okay, let's look at a few market stats here. Close that out. Close that out. Close that out. There we go. We talked about that. All right. So market stats. I'm going to go into, where did I put it at? Prince George's. Okay. You all can see that, right? So Prince George's County alone, the home sales in the month of November increased 30.2%. Average sold price was up 6.6%. So, you know, as far as people and your clients and whatnot talking about, there's going to be a bubble, not really. Okay. Interest rates got back to normal because that's where banks need them to be in order for them to survive. So, you know, they took a hit for 2 years and gave away their money, but I'd rather them do that than the subsidies that went out years and years ago, where everybody, all the money came to put these banks, and they hold these banks up, and they took the money and paid themselves and left out the back door. So, you know, just some things to note And when you're going on a listing appointment or you're working with buyers, you need to be able to show them third-party proof that it's not all about you and it's not all about what you know, but you're an advisor for the business, for the real estate profession. So, you know, it's a good thing to start and have some conversations about that with them, and let them know that you are the one that needs to that can tell them all the information. Sorry about that, y'all. My phone is ringing in my ear, and you know it's kind of crazy. All right, so now also looking at market statistics. So you can tell what your local market insight is, and all this is available at PG Car. You don't have to log in. You don't have to do anything. You can. It's all available for you. So you know you can move my little thing around here. So tools, news, home sales statistics. You don't have to log in or anything. It's all available for you. And you get in here, you can see what the average sales price is, and you know all of that kind of good stuff. Total market details and everything is available for you right here. You just click on that and all that. Now, when you show up at a client's house with all of this statistical data backing up what you're saying, it's more than just you whistling in the wind. This is just hard data, and it's hard for them to try and refute it. So make sure you are taking, utilizing those tools that are out there for you. Okay. Another thing is there are programs available. Now, I'm on the Maryland Realtors website, mdrealtor.org. I'm over at programs. You see Maryland Home Ownership.com, and if you click on that, it actually runs a bunch of different programs that are available for you. Now, where did I find those? Right here, first time home buyer programs, buyer education, all of that is available for you. And when you know where it is, then you can actually, utilize that information to help. And we're going to cover that a little bit more. Jackie's going to give you a whole lot more information here on that. So I don't want to take up too much more of her time here. I'll just cover the one-on-one business plans. Many of you know I'm asking you to do a one-on-one business plan. I sent you a questionnaire, and what I need with that questionnaire is I need you to fill it out, send it in to me. Then I'm going to sit with you, and we're going to do the business plan based on what your answers to the questions are. So it saves a lot of time. We can all just do it, and it's very, very easy to do. So just come on and please, please, please get your business plan in. It does not take long, but if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Okay, there's really no way around it. Every good business has a plan. If you ever went for an SBA loan, if you don't have a plan, they're not going to give you any money. If you don't have a plan that you can prove to them works, they're not going to give you any money, at least that you've thought it through. And then they'll use their business prowess to help make sure that you hit it on the right path there. Okay, tool set. I'm gonna cover this, and then Jackie, I'm gonna cover two more things, and then Jackie, you get ready to jump in there. Jackie, are you gonna need to share the screen? Jacqueline?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Are you gonna need to share the screen when I let you in?
No, I will send information.
Okay, fantastic.
To everyone.
All right, so so the tool set is the new and improved Central Lock is much more safe for your listings. It's costs $125, but it does some fantastic things. The key box drops open from the bottom, so you're not losing keys all over the place. It doesn't come out; it just drops down from the bottom, and it's very secure. You can do the one-day codes. You can do all sorts of things with it. So definitely utilize that. And some of your older blue boxes are going to be non-functioning. You're going to need your key card, and we don't have those data cards any longer. We have the app. So you're going to, if you have some of those, you have to look and see, call Central Lock and see how useful that's going to be. But the new ones are looking really, really nice. And it's funny, when you buy a box, a listing seems to come your way. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm going to buy a bunch of boxes because all right. And it's about saying, reach out to everyone that you know and that knows you. Get in their heads and let them know that you are the source for real estate information. I just showed you a bunch of sources that you can go to, you have access to all the time, anytime. Start utilizing that information. It's I was listening to kind of a motivational thing, and basically many businesses their business owners have become millionaires by taking the same product, the same thing, and making it just 10% better, just 5% better. Maybe it's a restaurant and you go there and the food's not so much great, but they found a way to make it just a little bit better. Maybe the service is just a little bit better. Maybe the wait staff is just a little bit nicer, a little bit more friendly. Southwest Airlines did it completely, didn't they? They're just funny. And people will go on them, and for a while there, they were the #1 airline. So that's what I want you to do. Make sure that you let people know that you are the one for them. You're a little bit better than the average realtor they're going to run across. All right, so we talked about learning about DPA programs, down payment assistance programs. All right, now I'm going to bring on Jackie Chatter. She's an awesome young lady. We've known each other for many years. And she's always been about that big money. She's always looking for different money and looking for different ways to find it. And she has some very unique and nice programs to help us all do more business. So, Jackie, you have the floor.
I'm tickled that you invited me. I see some people. I see Derek out there. Hi, Derek. I worked for Derek at one time. He was my boss at one time. We are all in this business together.
Hey,
Hey.
Jackie.
Hi, I'm happy to share with you this evening. I won't take up a whole bunch of your time. I didn't bring anything for visuals because you can just sign. I'm sure Chuck will have a sign-in sheet and I can send you some information so that you can keep that with you on your desktop, etc. So a couple of things I want to touch on really quick. I know you got business plans to give in. So let me help you a little bit with that maybe. In this market, everybody's not that busy. It's a great time to do some target marketing. Okay, and how do you do target marketing? Well, you find out programs and you go for the market that you know will fit those programs. That's kind of what I do and how I stay alive in this business for almost 40 years. There's always a market. I don't care if it's up or down. And just to throw a little bit about interest rates, don't worry about interest rates, okay? 2 and 3 and even 4 was unreal. Derek and I'll tell you, we've been in this business almost 40, it never happened. I don't think it'll happen again. Banks, like you said, weren't making money, but 5 to 7, those are good interest rates. You're getting money back with that when you file your taxes. 2 and 3, you're not getting money back. You're paying Uncle Sam. So what's the point in buying a house? So when people complain about interest rates, you could just tell them, you say, look, interest rates, if you didn't get in at that time, it was unfortunate. But where they are now are probably where they're going to hang for the next couple of years. We're hearing, I had a meeting this morning, they're telling us, yeah, maybe they'll go to 4.5 in 2024. But do you really want to wait and have housing prices go higher? So, I tell people don't really worry about rates. Let's get what we can. As far as your marketing goes, and we're talking about target marketing, I have money. I have some money. It's grant money. It's free money. I love grant money. Yeah, you have DPA programs, but I love my free money. Okay, and Federal Home Loan Bank has some great money. It used to be like $5,000 and $7,500. Now it is $12,500 and $15,000. That is a lot of money. And this money is separated into categories. What I call the breathing money, like if you're breathing, you can get the money because this money is just tied to income. I have put my information in the chat box, and in there I have the website of where you can go and look up the income for the different counties because that's how you qualify for this money. Now, it's not as bad as some of these other programs because in PG Montgomery, the areas that you might be working in, it's $79,000 for one person. So you say, well, that's not a lot, but you know what? I'm doing 2 teachers right now and they're doing $68,000 together. So, don't discount it. So when I say target marketing, so you have the people who can get $12,500, which again are just I call them regular people. Okay, they're just your regular people who have jobs. They can get it. Now, the people who can get $15,000, we call those the community partners. Those are your firefighters, your policemen, your teachers, even, and get this, even if it's a janitor in a school, as long as he has a pay stubs that shows that he's being paid by the school, he gets $15,000. What I have learned, we also do the Maryland Mortgage Program. Now that's a down payment assistance program that you have to pay back. I'm not crazy about those, but we do have them. And as I was tooling around with them today and looking, I'm figuring out how to use their okay, so they have different kind of down payment assistance programs. They got 3%, 4%. They also have a program where you just take the interest rate. So today that interest rate was like 5 and 5/8. That's way better than FHA is presenting right now, even for good credit at 700 scores. We're pricing it in the 6. So I could use that rate on that program with a teacher or something with the federal home loan money. So that's a grant. So they get the benefit of the Maryland Mortgage Program's rate, and then the benefit of the grant with the Federal Home Loan Bank, so they don't have to pay it back. See, I'm all about not paying back money. Okay. I just like the free money. We also have another program at the bank that, depending on the address, that's $5,000, has nothing to do with income. It's all about targeted areas. So we have to put in that address, and that's another 5,000. So when you're looking at these programs, I would say in your marketing, you should possibly, and I'm not telling you how to market or how to run your business, I am just suggesting maybe you go after teachers. You know, everybody knows a teacher. You know, if you have kids in school, you got nephews in school, you got godchildren in school, I don't care who it is, you know, find out, you know, how's the teacher doing, you know, let them know that you have free money for teachers. You know, if you can do a seminar in a school or for 5 or 6 teachers, just get them together. I'll do it with you. We can explain about the money. People get really excited about this money. Okay, again, it's free money, and now it's a good chunk of money. So if I'm doing, for instance, I did some numbers on these people and they qualified, and this is just a small example, but they only qualified for like 275, but they're getting this 15,000. So they're really only coming to the table with about $6,000. If their realtor can hook them up with something at 275, and they're looking way out, so they may find that, okay? But I'm just saying, it's a great program. People can come up with 6,000. You know, that's not really a lot of money. And remember, that can be a gift. So that can be for mom and dad. So police people, a lot of these people still have retirement. Okay, these are people who have been working, so they can pull out that retirement to fill in what they don't get from, say, Federal Home Loan Bank. With the Maryland Mortgage Program, you get 3, 4, or 5% of the loan amount, not the sales price, the loan amount. And that money can help you with your down payment and closing costs. It is on your house as a second trust forever until you refinance it and pay it off. With the Federal Home Loan Bank, it's there. It's a silent second for 5 years. It's gone after that. You can sell your house, rent it out, do what you want to do. Income driven. So you can make a lot more money with the Maryland Mortgage Program than you can with the Federal Home Loan Bank. But just remember, with the Federal Home Loan Bank, it goes by income as well as people. So if you have a couple and they're making, say, 110,000 and they've got 2 or 3 kids, they qualify. So you've got to check that chart that I put into the chat box so that you can see. And it is only for first-time home buyers. And it is not just for DC and Maryland. I do loans in all 50 states. So if you got cousins and friends in different states and you want to hook them up with this money, guess what? We can do that. Okay. So that's the Federal Home Loan Bank. And then I just want to talk a little bit about investor money, because I don't know if you run into investors and you're going to hear these things out there. So I just want you to know there's money called DSCR. What that is, it's a new program. It's the hottest little program out there for investors. There's no documentation required. It is for decent credit people. So for instance, if you've got like a 700 score, it could be a 15 to 20% down payment. And we're just concerned that the mortgage is covered by the rent. Don't want to know where you work, not looking, and we're looking at reserves. So this loan is an asset-based loan, meaning that they like seeing the assets. Some of my lenders only require 3 months, some 6 months. They're actually now doing it for people who don't own a property. You used to have to own a house in order to get this investor loan. Now, no, you can be a renter. However, if you're a renter, you're going to have a little bit more assets, because they want to see if something happens to you, you know, you have some money to fall back on. I always try to tell my realtors and my clients and even my family when I talk to them, just always think of the money as yours. If it was your money, are you going to lend this to somebody? Okay, you're looking at credit challenged people, and people always come to us and say, well, I know they got credit issues, but let's get them a house anyway. Well, would you lend them your money? That's my question. Okay. Would you lend them your money? Okay, this is your money. And when you think of it like,
one training I had called them fun but hopeless. So you got.
Well, nobody is hopeless. And I will tell you, I've been doing this for 40 years, and I'm sure Derek has the same. If you want a house, I tell people, if you want a house, I don't care if your score is 300, because I'm not going anywhere. I've been here for a long time. Okay. And so we will get your house. You just have to listen to what we do. I mean, as long as you're working and you're paying your bills and we're going through it with you and showing you how to fit your budget, you can get a house. I've had people take 5 years to get a house, but you know what? They got a house. Life happens. Sometimes stuff happens, but the serious people who want a house, they will get a house. And the other thing is, and I'm gonna let you go because I don't want to take up too much time. I tell people, try not to be the crab mentality. Okay, what do I mean by that? I myself, when I wanted to buy my first house, I couldn't get what I wanted because I wanted a nicer house, but I couldn't afford that. But you know what? My best friend and I said, you know what? Let's get the nicer house. We wrote a contract. And we wrote a contract between us that we were going to live there for 3 years, sell the house, and then both of us get our own house. And that's exactly what we did. Had parties. Oh my God, we had such a good time. But the point is that we had a contract. Doesn't matter if we were best friends. I don't care if it's your sister, your brother, you have a contract. And when that time is up, you sell that house. We didn't even have it that we would refinance it. Somebody would refinance it because we didn't want to have any issues. Like somebody wants to stay, somebody didn't. So it was a perfectly good contract. We both got our money and boom, we both got our own houses. So sometimes, you can talk to people like that too, because I like to put those ideas in people's minds because sometimes they don't think about it. Just like when I talk to people's clients, I'll give you my little secret sauce here. When I talk to a client of yours or a client, I find out what their real estate goals are. Like, what do you want to do in real estate? Is this like your first house? You're never buying another house. I'm not going nowhere, this is it. Or do you want some rental property down the line? Because I have a program that I put people who want to be landlords in. And I have a program, 5 houses in 10 years. It's not rocket science. And for those who want to do that, I put them in that program because the cheapest way to get houses is to live in them. And we start you off with free money first. If we can get you the free money with FHA, because you're only going to have one FHA. Then we get you the 3% money after that, because there's other money out there that if you meet the income guidelines, hey, maybe we can get you 3% for your next house. But if not, it's going to be 5%. You should be saving your money a little bit because you know about the program that we're on. And every house after that is 5%. The first house, I say, okay, don't unpack, it's not yours. Okay, this is rental property, don't get happy. Okay, it doesn't have to have everything you want. You're renting this out in about 18 to 2 years. You do that, the next house, we move on. Now that house can help you pay for the second house. And that's how you move on. When you're consciously knowing that this is what you want to do and it's a plan, it's really not hard. Because I tell people you're moving every 3 or 4 years anyway and paying other people's rent. You're paying a landlord. So when people say to me, well, I don't know if I can move every 2 or 3, 4, I said, well, let's look at your rental history here. Okay. You've been moving every 2 and 3 years for the past 20 years and you still don't own anything. I'm going to show you how to do this and own 5 houses. So if people really want to do it, trust me, they do it. It's the easiest way to get rental property, I tell people. I know rental property. I grew up as a child of someone who was a landlord and my dad, and we had a lot of rental property. So I tell people that's just the way that I know of to help people get wealth. I'm into generational wealth. I'm trying to help people build wealth. So I have lots of flyers that I can help you with. Like I said, my information is in there. If you have open houses, I have great open house flyers. I'm here to help you market. Because marketing is kind of what you need to do with family, with friends. You need to talk to, I have a list here, your family, your friends, your past clients. Those are your great referrals, okay? Your people you went to high school with. Everybody needs to know what you do. Every single body. You may not get business from them, but they will tell their friend. You see, because you're not trying to get them. I tell people your network, you're not trying to get the person you're talking to. You're trying to get in their network so that when they talk to somebody and say, I'm thinking about buying a house, call Dolores, or you need to call Teresa. She's in real estate. And that's, we work by referral, guys. I mean, I do flyers, I send them out. If you get on my list, you'll get a flyer from me every now and then, because there's information out here that you should need since you're actively out here in the market, and you should be aware, and you should be aware of the money, because the money is really how you get paid. And I used to flip houses, I watch these things on TV and they crack me up, because they're like, okay, I'm going to get this house together and I'm gonna get it together, and then we're going to put it on open house, and we're going to open. Who has time for that? If you're a serious flipper, I tell people, we're doing the loan while you're doing the house. When you put that last nail in, we're going to settlement. We're trying to give that money back to the hard money people, or private money now. There's no more hard money. It's all private money now, guys, okay? They're changing the terminology. So anyway, kind of what I got for you tonight. I wanted to be quick, but if you have any questions, like I said, my information is there. I'm here to help you. Just let me know what I can do.
So, hey, anybody have any kind of questions at all?
Questions?
Jump in there. Hey, Derek, if if you want to unmute yourself and let little DJ alone and answer any questions too, that's fine, man. This, anybody can speak up now, or forever hold your peace. No, speak up, ask the question. I think we got the only question that was in the chat. Then I got a few things to say. All right, well, I'm gonna talk, and anybody just wants to just jump in. A couple of things that Jackie said that are tremendous. We all talk about legacy, and we all talk about the lifetime value of a good client. Yeah, they buy a house now and then they sell that house and they buy one, or they hold that house and they buy another one, and things like that. And what you're doing is you're setting up long-term relationships that if you nurture them properly and touch them often enough, in the many different ways that you need to touch. And in that course that I was showing you about the training, one of them is SOI, and it tells you sphere of influence, how to set up your database and how to touch them. You're touching them with a video, maybe you touch them with an email, touch them with a text, actual phone call, cards, just a lot of different ways to touch and stay engaged in them. And what Jackie was talking about is a book that came out some time ago called The Automatic Millionaire Homeowner. All right, The Automatic Millionaire Homeowner is an awesome book. It's like 240 pages. It's by a guy named David Bach. And what he talks about is getting rich slowly. And that is the way he's getting rich. So you get into the house, you live in it for a little while, house hack if you want to, something like that. Get out of that house, keep it, pull some money out of it, help you put down on the next one. And then, then you go from there. So you're living in your next one. It's a little bit bigger, but it's not the big boy just yet. And then you stay in that house a couple of years, and then you pull some equity out of the second one, pull some equity out of the first one, and then you put down a nice solid down payment on the third one. And then if you can do that long enough till you get to the big house with the 4-car garage and whatnot, and then you pull in equity out of all of those, you have positive cash flow, because each rental property is spinning off, a couple of hundred here, $300, $400, $500 a month, or whatever there, and that's going towards your income. So you qualify for more, keep your credit score good. You got high income, high credit score. You have some assets. You can almost write your own ticket to the bank. So that's a real cool thing. The open house flyers that Jackie has are great. I mean, she sent it to you. It's one of the agents used them just this weekend on an open house that she had on Saturday and Sunday. And she used them, and they were there. You can use them on social media because they come digitally and things of that nature. It's co-branded, so she's got her brand on it. You got your brand on it, and like I said, Jackie's information is in the chat. So make sure that you get it and write it down. And I will give her y'all's information, and have her send stuff to you, or she can send it to me. I can send it to you. Whatever works. We'll work all that out. And then telling your friends, that's my last point, is like telling your friends. That's what your CRM is for. You have to have a CRM.
The long one,
Dolores, were you getting in or what? Oh, she talked to somebody. All right, so you have to have a CRM, because that is the way that the top 10% of income earners in real estate use. They use a CRM because they can't keep track of all those stuff themselves. They have clients like from a long time ago that they don't always remember everything. And I remember my CRM, it was actually really pretty cool, because I was able to. Hey, Dolores, mute yourself, please. Dolores, mute yourself, please. All right, so
sorry.
all right, so So yeah, I mean, I had a database and I was able to call on those people. I still send out cards to them, and every year I'm getting business from it every year, and staying engaged with the people, touching base with them. They're going to, it's not their job to remember you. It's your job to remind them of who you are and what you do. And like I said, we covered a lot tonight. We covered, how to get the stats for the housing stats. So when you show up at somebody's listing or you're working with a buyer, you can show them this is what real information. Don't take my word for it. Here's that third-party proof from the Prince George's County Association of Realtors or from the Maryland Association of Realtors. It's not something that I just made up. So, and that validates you as a professional, because even the doctors use medical journals and the lawyers use, you've seen a law office, all of the books and things like that. So that's what it is. Look, this was a good meeting. It's short and sweet. Looks like we're gonna, Angela made me keep the meetings down to 45 minutes. I see her on this. So I'm gonna call out on that. So we're about to wrap this up. Does anybody have any questions, any concerns, anything? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Who's that just coming in? Anybody have any questions?
I had to step away for a moment. Hey, Chuck, this is Aaron, and hi,
Yeah,
Jackie. Will you send out any all the access to all the information that you presented tonight?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm recording this. So what'll happen is I will put this up on the Real Estate Answer Man YouTube channel. It'll have today's date on it. You'll be able to listen to the whole thing from start to finish. I start off 10 minutes before with a kind of a branding video that was from that same channel. But yeah, we started recording. So yes, all of this information will be available to you on the Real Estate Answer Man YouTube channel. And yes, you can sit back and listen to it as much as you need to. And
it's information for the DSCR loans and the grants and all that kind of stuff. Is it where I could actually find it?
Yeah, you can definitely Google that stuff with no problem. But let me get into the chat box here and slide up. I'll give it to everybody right now. DSC loans. Oh, there's a couple of questions, Jackie. Let me see. Okay, first of all, Jackie's number is.
I answered the questions.
Okay.
They're asking about the DSCR loan, so I answered those. And Aaron, if you want some information, just hit me up. I'll send you flyers on it so you can kind of get some program descriptions on what we're looking for.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And we could put you on. For those of you who are interested in the Federal Home Loan Bank loans, I have a great flyer that I can put you on that we co-brand, so that you can send that out to a lot of people digitally so that they can see that, there's money available. I am into, and Chuck knows this, I am into generational wealth. I'm trying to make as many of us rich through real estate as I can, okay? And I'm all about the rules of money. Once you know the rules of money, you can get the money. There's no reason for turn down these days, because we can approve somebody before they even go out looking for a house. And all we need is title work, homeowners insurance, and the appraisal. So that means we could literally close in 2 weeks. I don't say that because stuff happens. Appraisals, stuff happens there, and title work, there's a problem. So I can't say that. But literally, once we approve them with our buy adjust program, we're done with them. Now it's just about the property. And sometimes you kind of need that timing. So we have a lot of different things available.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much again. Appreciate it.
Jackie's number's in the chat. It's 240-460-7445. That's 240-460-7445. Of course, you all know how to reach me. Just let me know, and I'll shoot that information out to you. And then, Jackie, I'll tell you what, send your information to me, and I'll disseminate it out to everybody. And we'll work it out. We're going to talk a little later on this week about the other thing that we was talking about too. So all is good.
No problem.
Cool. All right. Does anybody have any other questions?
I have a question. Okay. If you want me to answer this access to you personally, you can let me know, but it might help everyone. Okay, I'm getting ready to list the property.
Mm-hmm.
And the property is facing the street. However, on the left, as you're looking at the property, on the left of the property, it looks like maybe parking space. Mm-hmm. But actually the parking space belongs to a church.
Mhm.
So my question is, there is parking onto the property in the back of the house, but the eyesore that is right next door to the property, how can you overcome? You have any suggestions on overcoming that, or any of the agents have any suggestions?
No, it's really hard to do that. The only thing that happens is that when you or the photographer takes the pictures, they do the angle so that doesn't show up in it. But anybody goes to see it is going to go to you. I've seen many a listing where the pictures are just great inside and everything like that. You get there and there's an apartment building on each side of these houses, people coming and going and 24/7, and beer bottles and all of that kind of stuff all over. So you just never know what you can do with that. What you want to do is going to look at the plat. If you can, you have to go in and look at the plats.net and see if you can look at the plat and see if they may have a house location survey so you can tell about how far over that land is, and just make sure that whoever's buying it doesn't think that they're getting the driveway as well.
They have it fenced.
Okay.
The church has it fenced with their sign on it.
Okay, yeah, then you should be good. Every house sells, somebody's going to buy it. So yeah, just go ahead and just price it real right, and let's get it. We're in the spring market right now, so this spring market is different than I've ever seen, but it's not much different. So even though it's supposed to be the bus and things supposed to slow down, they're not. There's still multiple offers. One of the agents had a contract that came through, and they wrote the contract, and they had a 1-day home inspection contingency. They were there that next day with their full home inspection team, and they did it without a home inspection contingency in there, but they did a home inspection basically to make sure there's no major issues. And so there's still things like that. There's still multiple offers in certain areas, and all of those type of things. So this is still a lively market. We're in the middle of the spring market. All of that dynamics of a spring market. Everybody's tired of being cooped up, especially coming out of COVID. They have their tax return money coming in. They just want to be moved before the schools so they can move the kids and things like that. Between now and Memorial Day is going to be, it's going to be on and popping. So, this is time to reach out to people and let them know, hey, look.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question, if I can ask you realtors, because this is the question I need to ask you realtors. So there's a program which I have not been pushing because I don't know that sellers are open to it. It's called a 2-1 or a 3-1 buy down. You might have heard about it, okay? We used to do them in the old days, okay? And they were very popular because the purchaser didn't have to pay for it because it was paid for in yield spread. So it was almost free. Okay, because what a buy down does, it buys down the interest rate. If you start at 6.5, then actually your buy down rate starts at 3.5 for the first year, 4.5 for the second year, 5.5 for the third year, and then it goes to 6%. And in this market, that's a good deal because in 2 or 3 years, they could probably refinance and get a fixed rate lower than that 6 where they're starting now. However, the caveat is that the seller is the one who has to pay for the buy down. Now, it may be a good thing because depending on your seller, if they don't want to lower the price for the houses that are not selling, it's cheaper for them to have you advertise that the client can get a buy down than for them to actually lower the price of the house. My question to you realtors are, do you think sellers would do that as opposed to lowering the price? Because then they're still getting a higher price for their house, but they're giving the buyer an incentive because their payment is going to be so much lower for the first 2 or 3 years. How do you think owners would feel about that? Because my insight is telling me one thing, and I'm like, you guys don't know. We got to ask the realtors, okay?
Right.
Tell me how you guys, or how your sellers would feel about that.
I had read about this earlier. I read this about a month ago or 2 months ago, and I was thinking about it also. But then I thought about it's just how these sellers are. They greed. Even if you have the house has been on the market for a long time, they're still holding on to I don't want to let the price down any lower than it is unless I absolutely have to. And that happens after a few months of being out there too high. And then it's like, okay, reality sets in. But it's case by case, and it's really about the greed or the willingness
Seller.
of the seller. Yes.
Right. And I get that. I totally get that. My question is, do you think as realtors that they would rather lower the price or offer a buy down? Because the buy down is cheaper. So my question is,
talk them into, you have to explain it to them and make sure that they understood what you were doing. Because I would say yes. I think they would if they understood what we were trying to present to them. If that answers the question.
It's like a mental thing, I think, Jackie. I think it would be good because whenever people deal with math, they get a little funny and not understanding. So it's like when you say something is $1.99 versus $2, they're thinking they're getting this big savings, but it's the difference is in reality is only 1 penny. So if you say reduce your home by 5,000 versus give a person 4,000, they're still in their mind, they're still getting what they're asking for. So I think that program would be a success that you're talking about.
we have all kinds of, we got all kinds of
I'm
charts.
talking about that 2-1. That 2-1.
Right.
I think that would be a good selling point because
For a
it's
seller.
a win-win for because the seller, like you said, in their mind, oh man, I sold my home for $425 versus $420. So hey.
Exactly. And it's cheaper to do the buy down than to do the lowering of the sales price for $10 or $15 or $20,000. It's much cheaper to do the buy down. But I was just wondering if sellers would really consider that. And like I said, I have the charts. We can show it to them. They can see it, where they're saving money as opposed to, but I was just curious as to the mindset. That's all. So thank you. I appreciate that. I do.
Anybody have anything else before I jump in with my 2 cents?
Yeah, this is Alan, Chuck.
Hey, Alan.
I have a question for Jackie. 2 questions, if possible. Are there certain title companies that you work with to expedite the closing, and also how do you compare with a lot of my clients that I've been speaking with? They've kind of got gung-ho with the NACA program. Are you familiar with that?
Sure. How do I put this? Okay. How do I be political correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna say NACA is a whole different program. So it's really another bank in and of itself, mostly using Bank of America money and things like that. They go through the program and they've worked out a deal with that. So and then they tend to try to steer you just to their lenders, just to their title people, and just to their realtors because they claim that they know that I am NASA certified. I think certifications run out or whatever, but yeah, and I've done a few NACA loans over there. I didn't see much difference between what's regularly out here, but the people are sold because of if you ever have been to one, it's a rah-rah session because you have an auditorium filled with people and they're saying, hey, I bought my house and I only spent $5,000. What? Yeah, it's a whole thing like
so
that.
Don't they have more rigid inspections? Like for the homeowner has to go through the inspections or a little bit more. Is that what NACA?
I haven't experienced that. But I wasn't selling crappy houses, but no, I haven't experienced that, but it could be. It makes sense. They're definitely trying to make sure that their money's good and that they can get paid.
Right. My only experience with them, to be honest with you, is I get people who went there and got tired of them and they just came to a regular lender. So that has been my only experience.
It is a long and involved process. It
Yeah.
truly is. And
And as far as title companies, I don't care who you use. It doesn't matter to us as long as they're licensed and everything like that. Everybody uses Secure Corp now, so that's a place that all title companies belong to. So if they don't, that would be the only issue. But most of them do, so that's nothing you'd have to worry about.
Okay, great. All right, thank you.
Did you get both your questions answered, Alan?
Yes, indeed. I greatly appreciate it.
All right, sure. All righty. Okay, yeah, on in terms of the 3-2-1 buy down versus the money, it really comes down to, the answer is it depends. In my humble opinion, it depends on the pitch, what you explain and how you explain it to the seller. It just depends on the seller's needs. Now, if their bottom line net is more, they're going to be all for it, but it has to be explained to them what that means. It's a win-win for the seller if they offer it, because then, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jackie or Derek, they qualify for the initial interest rate, right? They don't have to qualify.
Correct.
Yeah, so they qualify
Correct.
for the initial interest rate because that they're in for the first year, so they can buy more house with a 2-1 buy down, and they can qualify.
Not really. Oh, not
No?
really,
Okay.
because they still qualify for the start rate is what you qualify at. Now the buy down rate goes minus the start rate. So if you start at 6.5, your start rate is going to be 3.5, but you're still qualifying at 6.5.
Okay, so you're qualifying at
Okay.
the end rate.
Right,
Okay.
you qualify
Okay.
at that rate.
So you
Yeah.
qualify.
But I'll also send you, if you send me who was here, I'll send you a chart that I can send you that's filled out so you can see how the buy down makes a difference. Because it's easier when you see it.
All right, cool. Then yeah, and so all options are open, and what I like about this dialogue is that we're opening up, we're talking about some things that maybe you need to get some more one-on-one answers on, as you present options to your clients. It might be good for some and not good for others, but I think we as professionals need to understand it totally and be able to explain it. And then, when we get to the end of our knowledge of it, because that's not our profession, we need to be able to go to that professional and have them, just like I just did. I just made an assumption that they were qualifying on a low rate, but they weren't. They're qualifying on the final rate. So for them, they qualify at 6.5% or whatever, but they're paying at 3.5 or 4 or whatever now, and that's good to them. So they can get to save some money and get themselves ready for it as it comes up. So yeah, it just really depends on what people's needs are, what they want, and what's best for them, and us being able to just explain it and offer them options. Cool. All right. Anybody else have any other questions, concerns, or anything? All right, well, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank everybody. I thank you for taking the time out of your day to come in here. Sorry, we ran a little bit long, but I think it was important to get that information so that we can help some more people buy houses and sell houses. And who knows, we may help to add a little bit to our bank account along the way. All right, everybody, I appreciate you. Call me anytime. You have any kind of questions anywhere, and we'll make it happen. All right. All right.
Thank you.
Hey,
Peace
thanks.
out.
Hey, everybody, y'all have a good evening.
Thank you.
Good evening.